Da 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 da. Hey, we are gonna go to the moon again. Title is Rocket Around the Moon and Back. Skibidi-bop-bop. A soul, arts, astrology, communique, and 2-day calendar. It's actually gonna end up being 3 because I'm gonna include the full moon day just because. Welcome to the home of my Communiqué and calendar. I'm your host, Mary-Laurence Bevington. All times given are Eastern Daylight Time, which is Greenwich Mean Time minus 5 hours. Got a little image of Luna, our moon, as she's going to receive visitors. It's kind of a cool image by Eugene Golovesov of Unsplash. All right, here we go. Buckle in. Move over, Apollo. Artemis II is in the house. Apollo 17 completed the final crewed mission of the Apollo program to our moon from December 7th to the 19th, 1972. The series of manned Atlas, Mercury Atlas, and Saturn rockets, as well as the Mariner robotic space probes, were in the rear view mirror by 1973. When the Apollo-Soyuz test project completed on July 17th, 1975, the space race between nations dipped below the horizon. But as of this April's full moon, Star Treks to Luna are back and in the Orion spacecraft. The crew aboard looks different too. Artemis II's crew consists of Commander Reed Wiseman, pilot Victor Glover, as well as mission specialists Christina Koch from NASA and Jeremy Hansen from the Canadian Space Agency. Kind of cool. We got a little representation from multiple countries. On April 1st, 2026 at 6:35 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, the Artemis II mission lifted off at Kennedy Space Center in Central Florida, U.S. Over the course of 10 to 11 days, they intend to orbit Luna and fly further into space than humans have ever gone. I love NASA's name choices, and particularly their choice of Artemis. In myth, Artemis is the goddess of our moon, as well as the wilderness, wild animals, and the hunt. In the Iliad, Homer dubbed Artemis Potnia Theron, which is ancient Greek for Lady of the Animals. Also, Artemis protects young women and children, carries a bow at the ready, a deer by her side. She's a virginal, can-do figure. In some versions of her mythopoetic existence, she midwifed her twin brother Apollo's birth on the island of Delos, helping their mom, Leto, over the course of 9 days and nights. Hera, Zeus's wife, was upset with Leto, a nurturing goddess, for you see, Zeus sired the twins, Apollo and Artemis. In her jealousy, Hera pushed Leto far from solid ground and to Delos, a sun-baked rock floating in the Aegean Sea. I dare say a beautiful one too. I've been on that island and it's a little island. It's very cool, amazing history too. And I digress. I go now and now. And mothering Artemis Leto may give birth to her own protector. In mothering Artemis, Leto gave birth to her own protector. If you've been listening to these little things here and there, I edit as I go a tiny bit. I'm a mad editor. I like things to be just right, and I make mistakes all the time. A few years ago, I caught several episodes of an American TV sci-fi drama called For All Mankind. The premise, the USSR gets a cosmonaut to the moon first, and the space race doesn't end with the Apollo-Soyuz test project in 1975. Rather, it goes on and on and into now. As a result, the ongoing competition propels technology to advance rapid fire, Star Treks to push the envelope further, and alliances to promote diversity and peace. Discord on Mother Earth remains, yet the world of For All Mankind has a more coherent quality than our current global population. The title of the TV series comes from the space race rhetoric of the early 1960s, made especially famous by President John F. Kennedy's Rice University speech on the nation's space effort. Given September 12th, 1962, I'm going to excerpt that speech. As long as I have the microphone, I'm going to do one more little aside. So if you ever get to Houston, Texas, go to Rice University campus. You can go to the site where that speech was made. Very, very famous speech. It's often called JFK's Rice University speech on the nation's space effort. It has that whole long name. But they also built this little funky modern art observatory. We can look up at the stars with friends. It's 100% free to go into it. It's just kind of this wild anomaly. It literally looks as if the extraterrestrials came down and built it on the planet, and then you can see the stars from it. It's also just a beautiful campus, Rice University. Okay, here's the excerpt from JFK's speech, again given September 12th, 1962. Space can be explored and mastered without feeding the fires of war, without repeating the mistakes that man has made in extending his writ around this globe of ours. There's no strife, no prejudice, no national conflict in outer space as yet. Its hazards are hostile to us all. Its conquest deserves the best of all mankind, and its opportunity for peaceful cooperation may never come again. I do not long for excess emissions on our heated planet. But as we advance in clean energy, I pray our appetites remain strong for space exploration. So much can be gleaned from these star-strewn heavens. That whole last bit was just me weighing in. It's kind of the coda of why I wrote this little communique. And the calendar follows from here. Wow, there's so much happening. I'm only going to mention one thing, and then you'll have the written version. If for any reason your eyesight's impaired, there is a robot voice that will also read this via the Substack. And the one thing I want to just say is that because we have a stellium, which is very exciting, of planets in Aries, we have some action happening in the hopper. So Mars and Mercury are still in Pisces, but they're about to join the stellium, which right now includes the Sun, Neptune, Saturn, Chiron, and Mars's sister Eris. That's spelled Eris. So on the 9th of April, Mars goes into Aries. It's going to be a big day. Some parts of the world, that'll be on the 8th. And a lot of folks are looking at that day and saying, oh man, scary. Remember, Mars has his higher octaves too. So we can go towards the drive part of things. The reason there's trepidation around that date is because Aries is ruled by Mars. The planet Mars is going into Aries. So you can see there's a multiplier there. Meanwhile, on the 14th of April, our friend Mercury goes into Aries, and again, ruled by Mars. Mercury is our communication friend. He's quick and has to do with the nervous system and our hands. He's really interesting. I love Mercury, frankly. And here's the deal there. So same stuff I just said about Mars, there's just already all this action. So now there's more action. So everybody's working off of everybody. It's turning into a big party in Aries. Lastly, though, we've got Uranus scheduled to go into Gemini, ruled by Mercury. That happens on April 25th. So he's hovering in the late degrees of Taurus right now, and Uranus is in his fall when he's in Taurus. And Uranus is the higher manifestation of Mercury. Some people might say Mercury on steroids, Mercury 2.0, something like that. And it's hard to tell what that's going to do. And remember, this is just Mercury going into the sign. So there may just be a little bit of an activation. But last thing I'll say there is these degrees around the threshold are really strong. So the 29th degree of any sign is called an anaretic. The first degree of any sign is called the active, sometimes the creator degree, particularly in Aries. It's called the creator degree because it launches the entire ecliptic. It's literally the 0 to 1 degree point of the entire ecliptic of 360 degrees, ecliptic of the zodiac. That's the sun's path through the sky. So, anyway, the upshot of all of this is we see the headlines in the news. We also see a lot of these micro events, which sometimes are macro, but I'm talking right now about fights on airplanes and car accidents. And yes, that stuff has been happening on some level since time immemorial. And I think many of us notice, at least anecdotally, that these instances are happening more and more. So we're in a bit of a bubble wrap month, I would say. I'm trying to do shorter communication calendars, a few less paywalls, so there's no paywall for this one. I actually give a lot of the communique, usually the whole communique and part of the calendar before the paywall. So you're already getting a lot, but a girl's got to buy a new pair of shoes every now and then. So at any rate, I'm gonna close, but just even these next couple days with our moon waning, so Luna's gonna start to disappear. She's still gonna be huge in the sky as gibbous, but yeah, we may do well to nurture our nervous systems. You remember I've got my little central nervous system 7 week plan that I'm doing personally. I'm not setting it out as a challenge to anybody else, though the invitation stands. If you want to do some nervous system mending, please go for it. We can all use it, I'm sure. And yeah, the 7 week part, and it's less than that now because I started about a week ago, is because all the planets are direct for a few weeks, and that's we're just capturing that time. I'm just capturing that time of forward momentum. Okay, friends, sending much love your way, and I will be in touch. And I appreciate your stopping by. I really appreciate the followers and the subscribers. And some of you even give me some of your hard-earned cash, and I really appreciate that. And more than anything, it helps as a writer to feel as if I'm not alone. So that engagement is really sweet. And I'm trying to get better at that part on my side. So yeah, you come too. And I guess actually one last little thing. Coleman Barks passed away recently. I'm going to write about him really soon. He translated a lot of Rumi's poetry. Apparently, he did not speak Farsi, sometimes called Persian, which I just learned from, I'm friends with one of his relatives, a close relative actually, and I just was absolutely gobsmacked by that. But he was a poet and he brought his poetic mind into his translations. And they're going to do a big celebration of life for him in Athens, Georgia, very soon. Expecting a massive amount of people too. All right. Like I said, thanks for stopping by and yours and carrying the light. Give it up, boo, yeah.